When we think of HDB homes, the first thing that comes to mind are high-rise BTO flats. Since 1985, at least 80% of Singaporeans have been living in HDB flats. Over the years, HDB has experimented with unique property types such as HDB terrace houses, executive maisonettes, and DBSS flats. Despite their short remaining leases, these special homes are still fetching million-dollar valuations today. So why are these flats so sought after? And if they're so popular, why are they discontinued?
These discontinued flats, people like them because they are unique. You have like 2 levels, they're a lot bigger, or you can have a landed property at a cheaper price. So of course people like them.
A total of 285 99-year leasehold terrace houses were built by HDB's predecessor, the Singapore Improvement Trust, in the 1960s and 1970s. It started in Queenstown Stirling Road and later included Whampoa, along Jalan Bahagia and Jalan Makmur. Ranging from 78 to 99 square meters, these flats are much larger than the typical 3-room flats. Buyers are drawn to their rarity and affordability compared to similar-sized landed properties.
In February this year, a HDB terrace house was sold for $1.28 million. So this makes it the oldest million-dollar home sold with only 47 years remaining on the lease. In the past decade, the average price of a 3-room terrace house has increased by 15.1%, while that of a 4-room terrace house has increased by 13.1%. This is still a far cry from the average price increase for standard HDB flats in the same time period. So experts reckon that the smaller price gains were probably due to the decaying lease. A lot of these flats are a lot older, and therefore when people want to buy it, you can't use up the whole CPF to buy it, or your home loan may not get approved.
So if it's not about price gains, what else about it draws interest from home buyers?
SERS is the government's efforts to renew older housing estates. So they see these neighborhoods with potential redevelopment value, and then they buy back the land so that they can redevelop it with facilities or maybe higher-rise buildings. Residents are then offered a chance to move to a new location with a fresh 99-year lease. So then they might have this en-bloc windfall when they sell the flat back to HDB. But SERS is not guaranteed, and it definitely should not be used as a property investment strategy.
Introduced in 1983, executive maisonettes are a unique type of HDB flat that features 2 floors of spacious living within the same unit. Scattered across various estates in Singapore, these homes stand out with their impressive size. Boasting up to 1,700 square feet, they are about 30% larger than 3-gen flats. Their rare, alluring 2-story layout is another major draw for home buyers. But does this justify their steep price point?
As of May 2024, the highest transacted price for a maisonette was in Bishan for $1.5 million. Prices of maisonettes really took off post-pandemic, so the construction delays brought on by the pandemic made a lot of homeowners bring forward their purchasing decisions, and this drove prices up. Homeowners then also had a stronger desire for spacious homes because everyone felt so cooped up during the pandemic. This resulted in the prices of executive apartments and maisonettes increasing by 35% between 2014 and 2024. So right now, the average price of a 5-room maisonette is over $900,000.
The government ceased construction of executive maisonettes in August 1995, coinciding with the launch of the Executive Condo Housing Scheme, which makes the newest maisonette one can buy 29 years into its lease. Launched in 2005, the Design, Build and Sell scheme units are essentially premium HDB flats, built by private developers with unique external features. Unlike ECs, these developments do not have condo facilities such as swimming pools, gyms, and so on.
Sale of DBSS sites has discontinued since 2011 following the public outcry over its hefty price tag compared to other newer projects. There are also some design flaws, and that's why people were not very happy about the DBSS flats. For instance, residents of Pasir Ris 1 told the Straits Times that the corridors were more narrow than what was recommended in the fire safety guidelines. And then they also complained of defects like tiles popping out, stains on the doors.
Even so, these flats don't come cheap. According to data from Huttons, the average price of a 4-room DBSS unit is over $830,000.
This is a more than 40% jump in 10 years. In May 2024, a 5-room DBSS flat in Natura Loft was sold for $1.5 million, making it the priciest transaction in the estate. It may have fetched such a high price because of its desirable location. It's located very close to a lot of reputable schools, and I think parents in Singapore do value that. It's also close to a lot of amenities, so you have hawker centers, supermarkets nearby. So unlike standard HDB flats, these DBSS units also may include things like balconies, floor-to-ceiling windows, additional bedroom even.
So what does the future hold for public housing in Singapore as unique HDB properties gradually become obsolete?
I think the design of HDB flats is only going to get better and better over time. And I don't say this as a government mouthpiece or anything. You can really see it in your BTO flats. Yes, they are smaller than older resale flats, but let's be real, that's because we have a lot of land constraints in Singapore. If you're looking at the design element on its own, you can see that newer BTOs have much better design. Recently, HDB also introduced a new concept, the wide flat layout. So this is basically where a flat is produced without any of the partitions. So this gives homeowners the flexibility to design the flat however they like. As for the older, unique properties like the terrace houses or maisonettes, I do think people will keep buying them despite their shortcomings, decaying lease, or price point. This is especially so if they're located in prime areas like Queenstown or Kallang. It's like those conservation houses you see in Tiong Bahru. People are still paying over $1 million for it even though it was built decades and decades ago. They buy it for the heritage, the locale, size relative to newer flats, and also the price point relative to private homes in that area, and sometimes even for that lifestyle.